The UK could leave the EU. This is the prediction of Prime Minister David Cameron, revealed in a preview of his delayed speech on Britain's status within the bloc. Meanwhile, he has been wavering about the idea of an in-out referendum, saying it could be held after the next general election in 2015. Nigel Farage, the leader of the UK Independence Party, told RT Sarah Firth that the vote should be held right now.
Due to the ongoing hostage crisis in Algeria, involving a number of British nationals amongst others, the Prime Minister had to postpone that long-awaited-for speech on Europe. But nonetheless, some extracts of what he was expected to say in that speech have been revealed. Well, to speak to us more about that, we're outside Europa House in London to talk to the leader of the UK Independence Party, Nigel Farage, the party that says we're better off out the EU. So, Nigel, some of the extracts have revealed quite a positive tone to that. Did that surprise you?
Well, positive in a sense. I mean, he's using Eurosceptic language to pursue a Europhile agenda. It's exactly what Harold Wilson did 40 years ago. This speech is happening because of the rise of UKIP, and the rise of UKIP has led to massive discontent on the backbenches in the House of Commons and amongst the Conservative Party in the whole country. That's what he's responding to. So that's why he talks tough and says we must renegotiate. But the reality of what he says, if you read the subtext, is that the EU is very good for us and it serves our interest, and I promise God to do my best over the next 5 years to do everything I can to keep Britain a member of that union. This issue is a key constitutional issue. It isn't even about economics. It's about who governs Britain. It's about, are we an independent nation that has a democracy and determines our own future or not? And I want a referendum now, not a vague promise.
OK, I want to ask you, though, there's a lot of concern that if Britain left the EU, that this would massively affect our relationships, our trade relationships certainly, and have a hit on the economy as a result of that. What do you say to those concerns?
Classic scare tactics, always employed by the status quo, whether they're defending slavery or the Corn Laws or EU membership. Try and scare everybody with a whole series of shocks. 3 million British jobs would be lost if we left the European Union. Really? Really, we import massively more from the EU than we sell to them. Would Mercedes stop selling cars in Britain if we left the EU? Well, I think we all know the answer to that.
And you're saying that Britain should be looking to trade outside the EU to build those links?
What I'm saying is this, that Europe is ageing. Europe as a percentage of the world economy is now below a fifth and falling quite sharply. It is gripped by a Eurozone crisis, which is likely because of their fanaticism to keep it together to last for up to a decade. And yeah, OK, Europe is 38% of our overseas exports, and it's an important marketplace. But the rest of the world is even more important to us, and we're impotent because we're stuck inside this old-fashioned 19th century concept of a customs union. We cannot make our own trade deals anywhere else in the world. Let's have a free trade deal with Europe like the Swiss do, and let's re-engage with the rest of the world.
We've obviously this latest postponement for totally understandable reasons, but obviously we've seen a number of delays already. What do you think about that, the fact that this is such a huge issue and we've just had no clarity whatsoever on it?
I've been waiting for years for this speech. Another couple of weeks doesn't matter too much.
Thank you very much for joining us, Nigel Farage. And no clear information about when exactly that big speech on Europe will be delivered. There's some rumours that it could be as early as next week. And of course, the latest postponement making that big speech on Europe no less controversial here.